They say every town has its secrets. But Derry's are buried deep, beneath the streets, beneath the sewers, beneath the screams that echo after dark. It's been years since anyone dared to speak the clown's name, but the storm has returned, and with it, the whisper of laughter that crawls beneath your skin. This is the story of what came after the children left. When the nightmares began again, and Derry remembered. Welcome home. Welcome to Derry.
The wind came first. It crawled through Derry's streets at midnight, twisting telephone wires, rattling windows. Rain lashed the pavement, turning gutters into dark rivers. The town seemed to hold its breath. Margaret Maggie Fallon, age 19, had returned to Derry after several years away. She thought of it as a homecoming. Her childhood had been here. But even driving in tonight, she felt a weight pressing in, as though the aging homes and streetlights were watching her car. She parked on Maple Street, in front of her grandmother's old house, now vacant. The window stared blankly, boarded at the back, the paint peeled like old skin. The wind tugged at the boards, but none shifted. With flashlight in hand, and her backpack slung over one shoulder, Maggie approached. The front door swung open before she touched it, as though pushed inward by the air. She paused. "Hello?" She called into the foyer, voice echoing. Nothing answered but the hiss of rain entering through broken panes. She stepped in. Her flashlight's beams swept across a long hallway, dust motes dancing. The staircase loomed ahead. On the wall, a cracked portrait, two sisters, hand in hand. One's face was faintly scratched, one eye missing. Maggie's heart skipped. She shook her head. That must have been from the last tenant. She exhaled. She came back for one reason: closure. Her brother, Tommy, had disappeared while they lived here, years ago. The police blamed runaway. Local kids whispered of worse. But Maggie refused to believe he was gone forever. Tonight, she'd look for what she could find. Chapter 1. The Whispers Begin. She ascended the stairs. Each step groaned under her weight. At the top, the hallway stretched both left and right. Doors, some ajar, some shut. She raised the flashlight toward the rightmost door, the room she and Tommy used to share. Inside, the wallpaper peeled in great curling sheets. A toy train track looped across the floor. Maggie's chest tightened. She stepped in, stepping over track, shining light into corners. Her beam flicked across a small chest of drawers. The drawers were slightly open. She knelt, reached to pull one further, and froze. Inside, photographs. Maggie's childhood. One picture showed her and Tommy by the swimming pool. Another, him blowing out birthday candles. The third picture, Tommy standing alone in their old yard, except in the darkness behind him, a pale face with too wide grin lurked, half hidden in shadow. She jerked her hand away. The photo slipped. It fluttered onto the floor. In the beam's glare, the pale face flickered, then retreated. Her fingers trembled as she scooped the photos, putting them into her backpack. From somewhere deeper in the house came a low hum, like tuning radio. She stiffened. The hairs on her neck lifted. She followed the sound. Down a dim corridor she walked, the hum growing louder. A door stood cracked, light spilling from within. She peered inside, the attic access. A ladder descending into darkness below the house. The humming seemed strongest down there. She hesitated, heart thundering. She pushed open the trap door. The ladder was slick. She climbed. Chapter 2. Beneath the house. Under the floorboards, she entered a subterranean crawl space. The air was damp, suffused with mold and earth. Water dripped in slow, irregular beats. The flashlight flickered. The hum turned into a whisper. Margaret, Margaret. Soft, stretched, as though through water. Maggie's breath hitched. She swallowed hard. She moved forward, sliding along low stone walls. She found a tunnel mouth ahead, roughly carved, dark. She aimed the light in. The passage led down, deeper. She steadied her nerves and went in. After an agonizing crawl, she reached a larger chamber. It was circular, cold stone, the floor wet. Moss clung to walls. Roots hung like ropes from the ceiling. At its center, a shallow pool of water, black and still, like a mirror. Around it, old ruins, broken pipe, rusted metal, fragments of bone. Maggie's flashlight beam swept over shapes in the shadows. At first, nothing. Then, halfway across the chamber, a silhouette. Small, slight, hunched. She gasped. "Tommy?" she called. No answer, only water dripping. Yet in that darkness, the silhouette shifted, elongated, disappearing and reappearing. The whisper emerged again, layered, a chorus. "Tommy, Tommy, come home." The voice was torn, distant, but intimate. Her heart seized. She stepped closer. Halfway to the pool, the beam caught something on the stone floor. A toy car. Dusty, rusted. She recognized it. Tommy's old die-cast car. She knelt, stretching toward it, and the voice changed. Deep, cruel, echoing. "You came." The silhouette stepped forward. It was Tommy, but his face was wrong. Waxy pale, eyes glowing faint red. His mouth stretched in a grin too wide. "Maggie," he said in a child's voice, but laced with something ancient. She recoiled, staggering. The whisper chorus roared, pressing in. "You belong. Come. Float." She dropped the flashlight. Darkness swallowed her. A heavy hand touched her shoulder. She screamed. Light flared back as she fumbled for the flashlight. The grin was gone. Tommy's shape flickered like a broken film. In its place, a monstrous form emerged. Long arms, spindly legs, head twisting. The reflection in the water pool shimmered. 2 or 3 faces, writhing. She screamed again and turned to run. The tunnel behind her groaned. Walls shifted. The path collapsed. She stumbled, found a narrow crevice, forced her way through. The subterranean chamber erupted in a cacophony of screeches and whispers. She crawled blindly. Finally, she burst out through broken floorboards into the house's living room ceiling. She crashed through into dust and plaster. Light spilled from upstairs windows. She scrambled up, coughing, heart pounding. Chapter 3. The Storm Without. Maggie stumbled into the living room. The house was dark, though lightning flickered outside. Rain lashed the windows. Thunder rumbled. She ran to the front door, only to find it open. The foyer beyond was empty. She backed away. Then footsteps, slow, deliberate, from upstairs. She grabbed a chair. The steps descended, creaking, approaching. She pressed against the wall, clutching the chair as makeshift defense. The first figure appeared at the hallway's edge, Tommy, but wrong. The face drawn like wax, the same grin, her throat dry. She whispered, "Tommy?" He stopped, tilted his head. The grin widened impossibly. In his hand, a red balloon, drifting, luminous in the dim. "Come float, Maggie," the voice echoed, low, mocking. Lightning cracked. The balloon twisted, its string pulling taut. He beckoned. Maggie threw the chair. It shattered on the floor. Tommy lunged. She scrambled past him, ran upstairs. She burst into her old bedroom. She locked the door. Inside, the whisper was all around. "Come. We're waiting. So many, so many." She slammed into a closet, hiding behind coats. The wooden door shook. The voice hissed, "You can't hide." A red balloon slithered under the door, string curling. It drifted slack across the floor, as if reaching. She held her breath. Then the door burst open. The room filled with flickering shadows. The light bulb above jerked and died. The only light was the luminescent balloon, floating. From above in the ceiling, a grotesque face looked down, pale, contorted, eyes deep wells. She shrieked. The face pulled back. In that flash, she saw dozens of faces in the ceiling plaster, pressed up from underneath, screaming in silence. She fled down the hall, crashing through rooms, tumbling downstairs. Rain pounded the windows. Flash of lightning. She burst through the front door into the storm. Wet grass soaked her. She ran out toward the road, hearing unearthly laughter behind her, shakes chasing, flickering in her peripheral vision. She didn't stop until she reached Maple Street, and by luck, the headlights of a passing car cut rain glare. The walls of houses loomed, windows dark. She flagged the car. Inside, a man and woman stared at her, drenched, wild eyes. "Help me," she gasped. They shouted. The car doors opened. She dove in. Behind her, the street was empty. The house she left stood, silent. Still, the rain lashed, but a red balloon drifted past the front window, trailing across the yard. The driver locked doors. "What's your name?" he asked. "Margaret, Maggie Fallon," she said, voice trembling. They sped away. Chapter 4: Aftermath. The next morning, the skies broke. Sun pierced clouds over Derry. Maggie sat across from police in the station. Her clothes were soaked, torn, her hair matted. They listened, skeptical. No one believed. They found no one missing, no proof. Maggie slumped in chair, exhausted, terrified. Outside the window, Maple Street was quiet, the houses unremarkable. No signs of damage to her grandmother's house. No red balloons, no trace of tunnels. She walked back tonight to see for herself. She passed the boarded house, the portrait in the hallway, gone. The cracks mended. The place looked tidy, empty. She stepped across the threshold. The floorboards creaked under her boots. A wind drifted past her, cold. She walked to what used to be Tommy's room. The toy train tracks were gone. The drawers were closed, empty. She felt nausea. She backed away. In the hallway, a soft whisper. "Margaret." She froze. She turned. A red balloon lay at her feet, deflated, limp. Her flashlight flickered. She stared at the ceiling. From the plaster, faint lines, like cracks forming, branching. She heard a soft giggle in her mind, and in the distance, far below, something stirred. She fled. Epilogue. The Linger. Later, lying in a motel bed outside town, Maggie sat shivering in a thin robe. Her phone was dead, or at least unresponsive. Rain drummed the roof above. She stared out the window at black sky. Then she saw it, a single red balloon outside, drifting in place in the parking lot light. She gasped, pressing eyes to glass. The balloon twisted. It lifted, then drifted toward her window. The string tapped the glass softly. She backed away, but then a face appeared behind the balloon, on the other side of the glass, pale, one eye blinking, grinning. She ran, screaming, and the window shattered. The last thing she saw, the grin, the balloon floating in, the darkness behind.
The storm has passed. For now. But Derry never really forgets, does it? Somewhere beneath those quiet streets, in the dripping darkness of the sewers, laughter still echoes, waiting for the next child to listen. If you enjoyed tonight's descent into madness, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the growing legion of the lost right here on SinisterMediaHD, where fear never sleeps, and nightmares are always welcome. Until next time, keep your lights low, your doors locked, and your mind open to the horrors that hide in plain sight. I'll be waiting. This is Dr. Death, signing off from the shadows.